My name is Cristian Osvaldo Flores, and I am part of the Entrepreneurship for the Public Good Summer Institute Program, Cohort 12. I'm here to present 36 Hours in Berea, Kentucky. I am an intended political science major with a peace and social justice minor. I am currently a sophomore, and I was born in Zamora, Michoacan, Mexico, but raised in Georgia. As part of our Entrepreneurship for the Public Good Summer Institute program, we are directed to partake in daily activities that adventure tourists participate in. Reason being is that our own Berea community is on its transition of becoming a trail town in the state of Kentucky. Following the path of Moorhead and Livingston, our EPG cohort has actively picked up previous work of other cohorts with a local trail committee they helped form. We have helped map out 21 possible trails in Berea, have attained the support of local merchants, and in 6 months, the City of Berea Trail Town Committee has 1. Developed routes, 2. Identified the cultural and historic assets along these routes, 3. Formed a merchant committee, 4. Formed a signage committee, 5. Formed a PR and education committee, and finally, 6. Formed a volunteer committee. Just last month, we received a letter of support from Judge Executive Reagan Taylor in order to present our findings to the Madison County Tourism Committee. And there I was, creating my own persona as an adventure tourist in Abingdon, Virginia, as I biked 17 miles of the Virginia Creeper Trail in order to get a better understanding of what I was about to embark on and trying to present this to you. My first step was to plan out why anyone would want to come to Berea. As a second-year college student that was raised in Georgia, I would have expected that the town of Berea had nothing to offer. Needless to say, I was wrong. So I decided, as the story unfolds, I will attempt to use a specific persona. Now we will explore reasons as to why our own community in Berea, Kentucky is a vital stop for many adventure tourists and how it will help local businesses. Our community has a rich culture, artistic value, important and revolutionary history, and treasured natural attractions. Whether you're an outdoors fanatic, interested in art or music, and even someone who enjoys learning about historical movements, historical figures, and cultures, Berea, Kentucky has much to offer. We have the Pinnacles, the Artisan Village that also includes the culturally diverse Old Town, the Artisan Center, Berea College, the new Bell Hooks Institute, the Fudge Shop, the historical Boone Tavern, Broadway Body Works, a skating ring, and many other locations. And this also includes all of the events that unites the town. There are more than enough reasons as why two people should want to visit our community, especially the vast amount of bicyclists who we see every day. I now want you to imagine yourself as a cyclist who is about to begin touring across America, just like Caleb Mann is. As I was deciding on which persona I wanted to depict, I was determined to choose an adventure tourist that blew my mind. Thus, I decided to focus on Caleb Mann, a college student that sought out an unplanned voyage. I first met Caleb Mann in a bike shop in Abingdon, Virginia, and graciously welcomed his group into our campus as a gesture of hospitality and an opportunity to learn what it means to be him. Caleb Mann will soon be referred to as Yogi, his trail name. Caleb Mann, or Yogi, is a 19-year-old rising junior at Baylor University in Waco, Texas, where he is double majoring in professional sales and entrepreneurship. Born into a well-off family, Mann was determined that his experiences would always have humble beginnings. Originally from Cypress, Texas, and later moving to Houston, Texas, Mann has always been surrounded by urban culture filled with busybodies who live by the clock. Having had the opportunity to travel to many countries, including Canada and Italy, Mann has always thrived to navigate in unknown terrain. His passion in cycling particularly sparked from his mother as she introduced him to the sport. His life strategy is to always be involved in outdoor recreation, but he shares similar aspirations to be like his father, who happens to be a successful entrepreneur. Mann wants to have a future with Garmin, an enduring company which creates superior products for automotive, aviation, marine, outdoor, and sports that are essential to customers. This goal is one that he is assured of achieving because he has a successful network, an entrepreneurial mindset, and a quality set of skills and abilities. He even mentioned that he can do what he pleases every summer of his college career because he already has an internship and future job set for him after obtaining his undergraduate degree. This is something to pay attention to because as he has his future planned back home, he is constantly searching to navigate through an expedition that presents spontaneous events, social interactions, and memories he couldn't imagine. What enthralled me the most was the fact that he was only 19 and that he wanted to ride the Trans-American Trail when he was 17. Originally from Cypress, Texas, Yogi then moved to Houston, Texas, which is an urban city. Baylor University has a large student body with an immense of 14,000 students per year. He often refers to his college as a Baylor bubble, similarly to the Berea bubble. Yogi has distinct mannerisms such as being quirky, acting like a diva, being lavish, loud, and full of energy. Some of his key influencers in life are his family, Elon Musk, and Mark Hurd. Words he lives by: dress well, test well. Don't flaunt your success, but don't apologize for it either. And one that I did not list was, this is not a race. Yogi stated that he is one of the top 5 most popular students on campus. He is overly involved in school organizations such as the Chamber of Commerce, Athletics Department, and Public Relations. Man devotes most of his time to Baylor. He even spends time personally training the college's Bears. Apart from completing 12-hour credits, being heavily involved on campus, and working at a bike shop, Man was not complete until he embarked on biking across America. Alongside a friend he met online, Man began biking the Trans-American Trail and has been doing so for 19 days now. Why is the Trans-American Trail important? Well, the Boone Trace Trail is the most historically tied trail to our community at Berea because pioneer Daniel Boone paved this trail right through our town. It is also relevant because the trail is one way adventure tourists can get to our town, and if you see in the map, it's central to many other trails. Since Yogi worked at a bike shop, he was able to buy a cheap bike and modify it himself. He already had gear from his college cyclist team. Other than that, Yogi has quality experience in cycling, gear use, and knows how to deal with bears. Before embarking on the Trans-American Trail, Yogi was expecting to find purpose in the scenic natural attractions, but by the time he arrived to Berea and encountered Eastern Kentucky culture, he decided that the social interactions, Southern hospitality, and Appalachia culture is the most meaningful. Yogi met up with Birdie and began their trip together. Along the trip, they ran into a gal who would soon become the last member of the triad. Here we have the trail names: Birdie, Foodie, and Yogi. The only method of contact I had with the bicyclist was through direct message on Instagram. This is the platform they use, and this is how we were able to communicate their location in order to estimate their time of arrival. Yogi recognizes that he has one ultimate limitation in life, and that is time. He wishes the days can be prolonged so he can take advantage of every opportunity, experience unimaginable things, and meet the most influential people. However, because time is essential in what we can or cannot do, let's explore what Yogi would do in Berea if he had 36 hours to spend here. Yogi had no budget because he does not want to limit the valuable experiences he may run into, yet he attempts to be as economical as possible. When the triad arrived, Yogi and his group were extremely hungry. After taking a look at Yelp reviews, they decided to visit Main Street Cafe. Yogi's friend was so captivated by the fact that the cafe had falafel on their menu that she had to order one. They all agreed on the good service and food here at Main Street. Yogi spent $7.67, Foodie spent $13.60, and Birdie spent $9.57. While they waited for the student host to arrive, they were preparing for a convening because they were invited to share their experiences with a group who shared interest in what they were doing. When the host met up with Yogi and his group, all were too excited that they tried to go up to the room all at once, even though they didn't fit. Luckily, the cyclists didn't have to pay for lodging because some students offered to house them in their dorms and other students offered their off-campus homes. Yogi, Birdie, Foodie, and 2 other international cyclists joined Berea EPG students to debrief on why they were doing what they were doing. Could you imagine if there was a network that resembles warm showers but strictly for students, allowing them to do the same thing? After the open discussion, they enjoyed local pizza delivered from Papalino's. With could have been done at the local cleaners, but if EcoClean was available, Yogi would have definitely chose it over any other less sustainable laundromat. They always manage to have some type of fun in any activity they do. At 11 p.m., Yogi and his group, having biked 65 miles, met with the local college students, did laundry, and by the time they finished doing all of the above, they were exhausted. They followed their prospective host to fall into a heavy snooze. This was extremely convenient because he did not spend any money and had the opportunity to learn more about the city of Berea from local students and even had the opportunity to sleep in. On Saturday at 9 a.m., Yogi was told that the Boone Tavern, unlike a real tavern that one would expect to see bar fights and alcohol flying everywhere, was a historical landmark they had to visit. Even though their dress code was not up to code, they learned the history of the tavern and why it's a central location for many tourists to stay in. The food was overpriced, but worth the experience. They managed to get some help from TripAdvisor, telling them and showing them the good reviews Boone Tavern has. Yogi enjoyed the Weisenberger meal pancakes, which was about $9. Yogi and his friends walked around campus and the city of Berea. They ventured out to socialize and get a better feeling of the atmosphere. They even ran into fellow friends they knew who were biking the Trans-American Trail. At 11 a.m., when the visitor center opened, as a tourist, Yogi expected that he would want to make a visit there so he could learn about the events, activities, and other interesting opportunities that the city would want someone to know about. With a sudden urge for chocolate milk, Yogi managed to ask people who were around to determine where they could purchase some. Yogi ended up walking into Berea College's farm store. Here they found an array of produce they have never seen and were astonished by the simplicity of the store and the convenience it had for the city to have its local store that sells fresh produce close by. At 1 p.m., now that his chocolate milk craving was filled, his group then began to crave greasy food. What place would serve the least healthy, cheapest, and delicious food around Berea? The 24/7 truck stop. With recommendations, Yogi and his group biked across the expressway to find themselves in what felt as the back of an actual truck. The feeling was weird at first, but then the warming service made it all comfortable. The menu was simple enough to be prepared quickly. Before they knew it, they were diving into over-easy eggs and grits for $3, homemade burgers and fries for $7, and extra greasy bacon for $1.50. They even had a cup of coffee, which was $1. This is a perfect place to replenish calories lost. Yogi, being underage, will not be able to take advantage of any alcohol consumption. However, his other colleagues did. The only issue is that Berea happens to be a dry city. This posed an issue for them because as a bicyclist that bears extreme heat and experiences, one would like to sit back and enjoy a nice cold beer. The group managed to get a ride from local Berea students and escaped to the neighboring county of Richmond for an affordable six-pack of Kentucky Ale beers. Kentucky Ale beers were about $10.99 plus tax, which was an estimated $4.30 per person if they decided to divide it. In the old artisan village, Yogi was lucky enough to arrive on the first weekend of the month. Reason being is because the town and community organizes First Friday, a celebration of community inclusivity and culture diversity for everyone. Yogi could listen to the infamous Appalachian bluegrass music, have the opportunity to purchase handmade crafts, and socialize with business owners, local residents, and college students. After snacking on some kettle corn and maybe some cotton candy, Yogi and his group may want to have a delicious bite of local food. That is accompanied by live music. Yogi ordered the soup of the day bowl, which was $6, and an order of grilled cheese, which was $3.50. The Village Trough is actually the founder of First Friday, as they saw it was important for the community to showcase the rich arts, music, and literature. By 12 a.m., Yogi decided that he would reach out to Maya, who is a participant in warm showers, because he wanted to see the hospitality of the warm shower system in Berea. And boy, was he impressed. Here, he paid $20 for one night and had a complimentary breakfast. By 4 a.m., the 36 hours would have been over. However, With the help of Yelp, he knew that Berea Coffee and Tea was a place to visit before leaving Berea. He knew he could rely on fast service, high quality, and friendliness from the baristas because of the reviews, and ordered the large-size Highlander latte from Berea Coffee, which was an estimated $5. Yogi could reflect on how all he has done in the small town of Berea with the ambient Berea Coffee and Tea allowed him. This is a perfect time to write reviews on his social media platforms to share what he was able to accomplish. He is now ready to commence his route again and get on his way to explore the rest of America. Here is the itinerary. In conclusion, I hope you were able to imagine yourself as Yogi, a 19-year-old bicyclist through the Trans-American Trail without having anything planned, because he wants that escapist thrill. As he did not have any economical constraints due to being part of a well-off family, he made sure that his peers did not feel uncomfortable and decided that he did not need to boast his income and privileges. Being young helps guide him to seek out adrenaline-conducive activities. Yogi also being introduced to a new culture that he knew nothing about because he was stuck in an urban bubble was influential to his learning. However, Yogi has valued the importance of social interactions along the way by going to places where many people attend. Berea is a prime location where Yogi can learn a tremendous amount of historical moments, find adventure in the scenic natural attractions we have beside us, dine in some of the local, most hospitable, and high-quality restaurants in town. His favorite part was First Friday, and the group's experience would have been even more satisfied if the city sold alcohol. One thing to pay close attention to is that even though Yogi is better off, he remains self-conscious about how much he is spending, because the experience will not be true and meaningful if he himself did not follow the persona of an actual biker traveling through the Trans-American Trail. One would imagine that he could just buy his experiences, but he is nothing like that. He clearly understands his position, but that does not hinder him from wanting to escape from his life and find other challenges, adventures, and discoveries of cultures and people he wouldn't know. His age stood out to me the most because what 17 or 19-year-old would think about even trying to do something as unprecedented as this? He also happens to be the leader of his group, surprisingly, which can show us that the youth do like to take unplanned adventures like he has. Now we have to aim at becoming a trail town, successfully be advertised as a welcoming community, and cater to all demographics and all disciplines so the community can welcome more adventure tourists like Yogi and his group. This would allow our community to become more economically developed. His total average expenditures came up to be a total of $55.30, but he also was with the group. Imagine the economical development that we would encounter if we catered more to the adventure tourist here at Berea.